The United States immigration system is bracing for a seismic shift, one that could redefine the landscape of immigration policy for years to come. Former acting ICE Director Tom Homan is back in the spotlight, taking on a role that has already sparked intense reactions. Appointed by Donald Trump as the border czar, Homan's return signals a resurgence of the hardline immigration policies that defined Trump's first term. These policies were characterized by their strict enforcement and zero-tolerance approach. The appointment has sent ripples of anxiety through immigrant communities and ignited a firestorm of debate nationwide. Families are worried, activists are mobilizing, and the media is buzzing with speculation and concern. Homan is no stranger to controversy. His previous tenure as ICE director was fraught with contentious decisions and public outcry. His tenure as ICE director was marked by the deeply divisive zero-tolerance policy, a policy that many argue was both inhumane and ineffective. This policy, which led to the separation of thousands of migrant families at the U.S.-Mexico border, drew international condemnation. The images of children in detention centers became a symbol of the administration's hardline stance. Homan remained a staunch defender of the policy throughout, often appearing in the media to justify the administration's actions and decisions. Homan's appointment suggests that Trump, once again in the Oval Office, is prepared to double down on these controversial tactics. It signals a return to an era of stringent immigration enforcement. The move has reignited the debate over the human cost of strict immigration enforcement. Critics argue that such policies tear families apart and violate basic human rights. It raises questions about America's commitment to human rights and its image on the global stage. How will other nations view the United States if these policies are reinstated? This appointment is about more than just border security. It touches on the broader issues of national identity and values. It's about the soul of America. It's about the principles that define us as a nation and the values we choose to uphold. It's about who we are as a nation and what we stand for. Are we a country that welcomes the tired, the poor, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free? Or are we a fortress of exclusion? The coming months will reveal whether America chooses compassion or chooses control. The decisions made now will shape the future of the nation and its legacy in the world. Tom Homan is a figure who evokes strong reactions. His career in public service has been marked by both praise and condemnation. To his supporters, he is a dedicated public servant committed to upholding the law. They see him as a steadfast defender of national security and a protector of American values. To his critics, he is the architect of a cruel and inhumane system. They argue that his policies have caused unnecessary suffering and have tarnished the nation's moral standing. His legacy is forever intertwined with the zero-tolerance policy, a dark chapter in American immigration history. This policy mandated the prosecution of all illegal border crossers, leading to widespread family separations. Under zero tolerance, families crossing the border illegally were systematically separated. This approach was intended to serve as a deterrent to illegal immigration. Parents were detained and prosecuted. Many faced criminal charges, leading to lengthy detentions and legal battles. Children, often too young to even understand what was happening, were placed in government shelters. These shelters were often overcrowded and lacked adequate resources. The policy sparked outrage, with images of crying children separated from their parents seared into the public consciousness. The emotional toll on these children was immense and widely condemned. Homan, unyielding in his stance, argued that the policy was necessary to deter illegal immigration. He believed that strict enforcement was the only way to maintain order at the border. He maintained that separating families was a consequence of enforcing the law, not a deliberate act of cruelty. According to Homan, the responsibility lay with those who chose to cross the border illegally. His critics saw it differently, arguing that the policy was nothing short of state-sanctioned child abuse. They pointed to the long-term psychological damage inflicted on children as evidence of its cruelty. Homan's appointment suggests that these policies, though officially reversed, are not off the table. His return to a prominent role in immigration enforcement has reignited debates about the future of U.S. immigration policy. His return to a position of power raises serious concerns about the potential for history to repeat itself. Many fear that the harsh measures of the past could once again become a reality, affecting countless lives. Donald Trump's stance on immigration has been unwavering throughout his political career. It is a core tenet of his political identity, resonating deeply with a segment of his base. For Trump, immigration is not simply a policy issue. It's an existential threat, a force eroding the fabric of America. Trump's rhetoric is often laced with fear and resentment. He portrays immigrants as criminals and invaders, a drain on the economy, and a threat to national security. His proposed solutions, the border wall, mass deportations, and extreme vetting, reflect this siege mentality. Homan's appointment is a clear signal that Trump intends to double down on this hardline approach. Homan, a loyal foot soldier in Trump's immigration crusade, is seen as someone who will implement the president's vision without hesitation or reservation. The message is clear. Compromise is not an option. Trump is determined to reshape America's immigration system in his image, regardless of the human cost or the political fallout. Section 4. A Chorus of Dissent. Human rights at the crossroads. The appointment of Tom Homan has been met with a chorus of condemnation from human rights groups and immigration advocates. They view Homan as a symbol of an immigration system that prioritizes cruelty over compassion, deterrence over due process. Critics argue that Homan's policies have inflicted lasting trauma on vulnerable populations. They point to the enduring psychological scars of family separation, the inhumane conditions in detention centers, and the denial of asylum to those fleeing persecution. For these groups, Homan's appointment represents a betrayal of American values. They argue that America has a moral obligation to treat all people with dignity and respect, regardless of their immigration status. They see Homan's appointment as a step backward, a regression to a darker chapter in American history. The fight over immigration is ultimately a fight over what kind of nation America wants to be. It is a fight over the soul of a nation grappling with its identity and its place in the world. Section 5. Homan's unshakable belief. Law and order, above all else. Tom Homan is a man of unwavering conviction, a figure who stands resolute in his beliefs. He sees the world in stark terms, right and wrong, legal and illegal, with no room for ambiguity. For Homan, the issue of immigration is not about compassion or nuance. It's about upholding the law, no matter the cost. He believes that the integrity of the nation depends on strict adherence to its laws. Homan's defenders argue that he is simply doing his job, enforcing the laws passed by Congress. They see him as a necessary force in maintaining order. They view him as a dedicated public servant, a man of integrity operating in a thankless and often dangerous profession. His commitment to his duty is seen as a testament to his character. Homan himself remains defiant in the face of criticism, standing firm in his beliefs. He views his critics as naive and misguided, more concerned with political correctness than with protecting national security. To him, their opposition is a distraction from the real issues at hand. He believes that his hardline approach is the only way to deter illegal immigration and restore order to a broken system. In his eyes, the law must be enforced without exception. For Homan, the ends justify the means. He is willing to make difficult decisions if it means upholding the law. He believes that the suffering caused by his policies is an unfortunate but necessary consequence of securing the border and upholding the rule of law. To him, The greater good is worth the personal and societal costs. It is a stance that will continue to draw both admiration and revulsion. His unwavering commitment to law and order ensures that he remains a polarizing figure in the national debate on immigration. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more trending news.